The air is thick with the scent of wet earth and blood. It is the smell of the great thawing, the end of a long wait. The clan moves like a pack of ghosts across a landscape of mud and shattered ice. This is their world, a dying tundra. Before them, the beast bellows, its breath a cloud of steam in the cool air. It is a Pachyrhinosaurus, one of the last of the great ice herds, a mountain of muscle and stubborn fury. Its distinctive bony boss a shield against their spears. The people of the long ice have mastered this dance. They are the apex predators of a world defined by a single, endless horizon. Their long, heavy spears are made for the open plains, their eyes trained to see a flicker of movement a mile away. Today's hunt is a masterpiece of their art. John, the clan leader, directs them with hand signals, his movements economical and precise. They do not charge, they exhaust. They are a dozen small, intelligent wolves wearing down a bear. Young Kale, his arm a blur of motion, sends a flint-tipped spear arcing from his atlat, striking the beast high on the flank. It roars, more in frustration than pain, turning to charge him. But as it does, to shin from the side, driving their own spears deep into its heavy thigh. The ground, a treacherous soup of mud and meltwater, betrays the creature's weight. It slips, stumbles, and the clan surges forward. This is the moment. The kill is brutal, intimate, unnecessary. John himself drives his spear into the soft flesh beneath the beast's throat. It shudders, a final groaning sigh, and then the great life that animated it is gone. There is a moment of raw, panting triumph. The meat will last them a moon. The hide will make new cloaks. The bone will be their tools. This is victory. But as John places a hand on the warm, rough hide, he looks past the celebration, past the butchering that has already begun. He looks south, and the victor returns to ash in his mouth, where there should be an endless, clean expanse of white and grey, a world they can read like the lines on their own hands. There is now a wall, a solid, suffocating wall of green. A forest, dense and dark and utterly alien, has been creeping north, following the inexorable path of the great glacial retreat. It has devoured their world, filled with the drone of insects they do not know and the scent of decay. The long spears that brought down the thunder of the plains would be useless in that tangled labyrinth. Their eyes, masters of distance, are blind in the claustrophobic gloom. This triumphant kill is not a new beginning. It is an ending. They are the greatest hunters the world has ever known, the undisputed masters of prehistoric life, but they are masters of a kingdom that no longer exists. They stand on the graveyard of their own world, feasting on its last monument. If you have ever felt the ground shift beneath your feet, the moment when all the rules you knew become a lie, then our chronicle is your own. The story of these early humans is just beginning. The meat of the ice beast does not last. It is a memory chewed with the last tough strips of hide. Hunger, a familiar old enemy from the lean times of the long ice, has returned with a new and terrifying face. It drives them to the edge of the green wall. For days, they only scout the perimeter, peering into the gloom like children staring into a dark cave. Their world was one of wind and distance, a clean, hard world. This new one is a suffocating tangle of roots and shadow, a place of things unseen. The biome shift is not a concept to them. It is a physical barrier, a suffocating presence that smells of rotten life in equal measure. Finally, John leads a small party in. The moment they step under the canopy, they are lost. The sun vanishes, replaced by a dappled, confusing light. Every rustle of a leaf sounds like a threat. Their long spears, their pride, are a clumsy liability, catching on vines and low-hanging branches. They try to hunt. They move in their ancient, practiced formation, a crescent meant to corner fleet-footed prey on open ground. Here, it is a joke. They are loud, their fur boots cracking twigs that echo in the unnatural silence. They spook a small, feathered dinosaur that bursts from the undergrowth and vanishes in a heartbeat, leaving them staring at empty space. They are infants in this world, their lifetime of mastery rendered utterly useless. The failure is a cold knot in John's stomach. On their second day in, they find the tracks. with the unmistakable impression of a single, massive sickle claw. These are not the tracks of a scavenger. They are the marks of a hunter that owns this forest. An ambush predator. Later, they find what it has hunted a half-eaten, ornithopod, its ribcage torn open with surgical precision. The kill is fresh, they are being watched. A primal fear, one their ancestors had nearly forgotten, begins to crawl up their spines. They are the great hunters of the plains, but here, in the green labyrinth, something else is hunting. The attack comes without warning. As they cross a small clearing, a blur of scaled motion explodes from a thicket of giant ferns. It is a Utahraptor, larger and more robust than the pack hunters of the south, a creature built for overwhelming force. It is on Toll, one of the younger hunters, before he can even turn. The great claw, a weapon of obscene efficiency, does its work. There is no fight. There is no fight. There is only a single, choked cry, heaving his spear, but the creature is already gone, dragging Toll's body back into the impenetrable green. They see only the thrashing of ferns, and then silence. A profound, terrible silence. They stand frozen, their hearts hammering against their ribs. The forest, which was merely alien, is now a monster. They have been tested and found wanting. They are no longer the hunters. They are prey. John looks at the faces of his men, at the rash error in their eyes. He sees the end of his people. Not in a great cataclysm of ice and snow, but here in a quiet, green place, picked off one by a shadow they cannot fight. He gives the signal for retreat. They move back the way they came, not as a proud hunting party, but as a rooted herd, expecting the killing claw at every step. They do not speak of Toll. His absence is a wound in the clan's heart, a silence that speaks louder than any lament. The great spears, the icons of their people, lie against the cave wall. Their polished shafts and perfect flint tips, now monuments to a dead age. For 2 days, they eat roots and grubs, the food of desperation. John sits apart, his face a mask of granite. He is not just a leader who lost a man. He is a king who has led his people out of their kingdom and into a cage with a monster. The future is a wall of green, and beyond it, starvation. On the 3rd day, Cale approaches him. The younger hunter's eyes burn with a feverish light, a dangerous mix of grief and fury. He holds not a spear, but a heavy stone, its edge crudely flecked, an axe. While the others mourned, he has been working, smashing, adapting. He does not speak of hunting. He speaks of felling trees. The idea is madness. It is also the only idea they have. It will be their weapon. The shift is slow, agonizing. The clan whose entire existence was defined by the fluid grace of the hunt now becomes a clumsy, earth-moving machine. They are no longer hunters, they are engineers of a single, brutal act of vengeance. They choose the spot with care, a narrow game trail, worn deep by years of passing creatures, the same trail where they found Toll's remains. The Utahraptor, like all successful ambush predators, is a creature of habit. Using sharpened shoulder blades in their bare hands, their movements awkward and foreign. Above the trail, Cale and the others work with their new axes, hacking at the base of 2 massive deadfall trees. The work is a new kind of hard, a grinding, repetitive labor that leaves their hands raw and their backs screaming. It is the birth of a new kind of primitive technology, born not of elegance but of pure, unadulterated need. They rig a mechanism from taut vines and a single, precariously balanced log. The entire construction is a prayer to physics, a gamble that gravity will be a more reliable killer than their own arms. The trap is set. Now it needs bait. John intends to go himself, a leader's final sacrifice. But Cale steps in front of him. His face is young, but his eyes are ancient with loss. This is his debt to pay. He takes a small knife and draws it across his own forearm. A shallow cut, but enough. The scent of his blood, human blood, will be an irresistible lure. He walks down the trail alone, his limp exaggerated, his cries of pain a carefully crafted performance of vulnerability. He is offering himself to the forest's phantom, a piece of living bait. The wait is an eternity. The Utahraptor emerges from the ferns, silent as death. It is magnificent and terrifying, a perfect killing machine. Its eyes, intelligent and cold, lock onto Kale. It begins the stalk, its body low to the ground, a coiled spring of muscle and core. Kale's heart is a drum against his ribs. He backs away, step by agonizing step, leading the monster to its doom. He stumbles past the trigger vine. The raptor closes the distance, its jaws opening, although he's escaping its throat. Kale throws himself to the side, rolling into the thorns. The raptor lunge, its great foot striking the vine. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then, a groaning crack echoes from above. The raptor looks up, a flicker of what might be confusion in its reptilian eyes. The sky falls. The two massive trees plummet down, 100 tons of dead wooden raw force, landing with a sound that is not a crack, but a deep, wet crunch, a sound of absolute finality. The forest falls silent. The clan emerges slowly from their hiding places, their faces pale. They look at the colossal tomb of wood, and beneath it, the mangled, feathered limb of the thing. It is not a proud victory, it is a grim, earth-shaking declaration. They are no longer the people of the long ice. They do not know who they are yet, but they know they will survive. They have learned the forest's brutal lesson: to kill a monster, you must become a different kind of monster yourself. Embers and echoes. They do not salvage the kill. The beast is left to the forest, a sacrifice to the new world that has claimed them. The act of its destruction was the purpose, not the meat. In the days that follow, the sound of the clan changes. The sharp, precise flaking of flint for spear points is replaced by the dull, rhythmic thud of stone axes against wood. They are clearing a space, building a permanent shelter, carving out a defiant foothold in the green. The spear, the symbol of their long, proud history in the story of human evolution, was an extension of the arm. The trap was an extension of the mind. This is the tragic cost of their victory, the death of a culture in exchange for the survival of a people. They have been broken, humbled and remade. Staring into the oppressive, endless forest, they see not a cage, but a challenge, a vast repository of new dangers and new solutions. We, who live in a world of our own making, look back on these ancient humans with a sense of distant admiration. But their struggle is our own. How many times has our species faced a world that has changed too fast? How many times have we been forced to let our old certainties die, to abandon the very skills that defined us, in order to take the next, uncertain step forward? We are the children of those who learned to thrive in the dark. But what happens when the forest itself is not the danger, but the prize?